Hi everyone, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet again. And now we're going to start on this puff stitch granny square here. In the video I just did previously, and if you were watching live on Facebook, I showed how to do the V-stitch granny square that's going to be in this Afghan. And now I'm going to show you how to do the cross stitch square. I'm going to show you how to do that. If you're on Facebook and you didn't catch the V-stitch granny square, you can find that within my videos. If you're on YouTube, I'll put a link in the description below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Also in my other video, I explained what yarn I used and all that kind of stuff, and how many that you're going to need to do this blanket. So if you want to shoot over to that, you can watch that. Also, if you're new to crocheting and you don't know the stitches that we're using, you can look at my beginner tutorial on YouTube. Okay, so what you're going to need today is a 4.5 millimeter hook or a size G. You're going to need, of course, the darning needle and a pair of scissors. Okay, I used white for all my borders. You can use whatever color you want. Also in my other video I explained I use stripes, Red Heart Super Saver for my V-stitches. Okay, and I used neon, and then I can't remember the other color. It's like these warm colors, greens and purples and pinks. Alrighty then, so let's get started. And I'm just, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use some pink Red Heart here, just because it's easy to see. And so we're going to show you how to do the puff stitch cross. Okay, so we're going to start with our slip knot. I'm going to raise my camera up a little bit. And we're going to chain 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, for this granny square, it's a little bit different, almost like you're making a dishcloth or something, but a granny square is, after all, just a square, so you can make it any way you want to, but basically we're going to be going back and forth and turning our work instead of working in a circle. Okay, so we've chained our 18, and we're going to go right into this second one from the hook here. So we're not going into this one, we're going into the second one. And we're going to do a single crochet all the way across, and that'll be 17. Because we get 17 and work into that first one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. 17 into this last one right here. And it's important on this one that you count because it'll help you keep everything straight so you don't end up with any triangles. Because sometimes it's hard to see the single crochet stitches. So it's important that you count for this one, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work, okay? So for our next row, what we're going to do is we're going to work right into this first one. Now I know it seems funny because we didn't work into the first one in the beginning, but this is the rules of single crochet. Okay, so we're just going to follow those rules, and we're going to go right into this first one right here under, right here. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 single crochets all the way across there. Okay, and the 9th one we're going to work our puff stitch. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now to work this puff stitch, it's really important that you keep your yarn loose. If you ever watched my beginner's tutorial for crochet, you'll know that this finger right here, and you may not hold your finger like this, but however you do it, so if you hold it like this or you wrap it around your fingers, you want to keep this yarn a little bit loose when you're doing these puff stitches. It'll make it so much easier to get your yarn through. Okay, so we want to even keep this one a little bit loose. Normally we'd have it like this more, but we want to keep it more loose like that. Okay, so we're working into our 9th stitch here. We've already single crocheted 8 across, and we're going to yarn over, go into this 9th here, pull through, there's 1, yarn over, go through, pull up, there's 2, yarn over, go through, pull up, there's 3, yarn over, go through, pull up, there's 4, yarn over, pull up, and there's 5. Okay, so then what you want to do is you want to go all through those 5 there just like that to make your puff stitch, and you want to single crochet at the top to lock it in. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to work 8 single crochet again. So we're going to go right into this next stitch. There's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so right there is what it's going to look like. Your puff stitch should go out the other side. If for some reason it doesn't and it pops back this way, just push it just like that and it'll go back, but it should look just like that. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1, turn our work again, and this time we're just going to work single crochets all the way across the top. We're not going to do a puff stitch in this row. So we're going to go again right underneath here. We're going to work 17 single crochets across. So there's 1, 2, 3. And I want you to pay close attention to where I'm placing my single crochets when we come up to the puff stitch. Okay. So I had to pull that out. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then right beside the puff stitch there's a space there. I want you to work, that's your 8th. Then I want you to go right on top of this puff stitch for your 9th. You're going to see 2 places where you could possibly go into. You could go in here, but I want you to go on the side of the puff stitch right here at the top. You'll see 2 little, like a little V there, and you want to go through both of those. Okay, and that's our 9th single crochet right there. And then right beside it we're going to do 10, and then we're going to keep going here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Okay. Now you're going to chain 1 and turn your work again. And now, if you'll notice, every time that we turn our work to the back, that's when we're going to be working a puff stitch. Okay, so now what we're going to do again is we're going to chain 8, not chain, single crochet, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And in this 9th one, we're going to work a stitch. In the 9th, we're going to work a puff stitch. So I'm going to keep it loosey-goosey here. I'm going to go right into my 9th. I'm going to yarn over, go right into that single crochet there, pull up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then I'm going to go through all of those, and then I'm going to single crochet to lock it in up at the top. Then I'm going to go right beside it, and I'm going to work 8 more single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. For those of you who are really fast crocheters and you know exactly what you're doing, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that you're going to need 5 of these puff stitches. So you're going to work it exactly the way that we've been doing until you get to 5 of these. But I'm going to keep going so that you can follow along with me in case that you need the help. So again, we're going to go all across the top, where we're going to do 17 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and right beside the puff stitch, don't forget that one, that's 8. And then right at the top, we're going to find this special little stitch here, this little V. I'm going to go in, that's going to be number 9. We're going to work right beside our puff stitch, that's number 10, and then continue to 17, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Then chain 1 and turn your work again. And now we're at the back again so that we know that we need to do another puff stitch. So again, we're going to single crochet 8, starting right in that first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we're going to work our puff stitch. Remember, we're going to keep it really loose. I'm going to try to get it really close to the camera that you can see. So we're going to yarn over, go right into this 9th stitch here. Yarn over, grab some yarn, pull it back. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to pull through all of those, single crochet to hold it in, and then do 8 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Chain 1 and turn your work again, and this is what it looks like so far. You're getting a line right down the middle of your puff stitches by following all the numbers correctly, and that's why it's so important to count. So we've got 2 more of these left to go. So we're going to do 17 across the top. I'm going to move a little bit faster here because I think you've got the hang of it. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right beside that puff stitch, 8, right on the top, 9, right beside it, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And chain 1 to turn your work. And I'll tell you, the Stripes Red Heart it's a inexpensive yarn, and it really is pretty. And one of the reasons why I like it so much is because I don't get bored with it because it keeps changing colors so much. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And in this 9th one, we're going to work another puff stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 1, single crochet up there at the top to block it in, and then we'll do 8 more. 1, 2, 8 single crochets, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work again. And now we've got 4 puff stitches, so we have 1 more left to go for the bottom of our cross. And I'm just going to put a little one up here so that you can see as we're working. I find this helpful sometimes when I watch YouTube videos, if I can see what the finished product looks like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so again, over the top here, we're going to do 17 single crochets across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right beside the puff stitch, and 8, right on the top over here on the side, 9, right beside it, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And then we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and then we're going to do the last puff stitch for the bottom of the cross. Okay, so we're going to do 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And in this 9th one, we're going to work another puff stitch. So we're going to go in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to go through all 5 of those, single crochet at the top to lock it in, and then 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and there's the bottom of our cross, just like that. Now before we work on these side puff stitches here, we're going to need to do another row of single crochet, 17 of those. So we go right in, we're going to do 17 single crochets across the top, 2, just like we've been doing so far, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work, and now we're going to work on this right here, the middle of our cross. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to chain single crochet 4 across. I keep wanting to say chain, I don't know why, but we're going to single crochet 4 across. We're going to go right there in the beginning, just like we've been doing. 1 for 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in this fifth one, we're going to do a puff stitch, just like we've been doing. Yarn over, go in 1, yarn over, go in 2, 3, 4, 5, go through all of those, and chain 1 at the top. Okay, and in between these puff stitches, we're just going to do 1 single crochet. So I'm going to go into my next one, do a single crochet, and then in the very next, we're going to work another puff stitch. And we're going to need a total of 5, so we have 1. So we're going to do 5 across now with 1 single crochet in between. So in the next one, we're going to work another puff stitch. I'm going to go in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All this. Single crochet at the top, and then 1 single crochet in the next space here, and then we're going to do another puff stitch. Just remember to keep your yarn nice and loose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go through all of those, and then do a single crochet at the top, and then again a single crochet into the next stitch. So far we've got 3, so we need 2 more. So we're going to do another puff stitch here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go through all of those, single crochet right beside it, and another stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go through all of those, single crochet at the top, and now we know that we've got all our 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our 5 puff stitches, just like that. So now we should have 4 single crochets left if we counted properly. So we're going to go right into this next one, do 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 single crochets. So now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work again. And we're going to do just like we've been doing. We're going to work all across the top with 17. And I'm going to show you exactly where to because it's a little confusing. I'm taking my hands out because I have horrible carpal tunnel and my hands are totally numb. So, okay, so we're going to go into this first one here and we're going to start counting our 17. I'm going to show you exactly where to put them. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're at the top. Remember, we're going to go into the side right here, and that's 5 in between. 6. Up at the top again is 7. In between is 8. Up at the top again is 9. In between is 10. Up at the top is 11. In between is 12. Up at the top, 13. And then right beside it, 14, 15, 16, and 17 single crochets all along the top. Now to finish this cross, all that we need now is 2 more puff stitches at the top, and that's going to work out just like we did here at the bottom. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and now we're going to again work 8, just like we were doing before. Sorry. Eight single crochets. So we're going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to do a puff stitch in our 9th one, just like we did before. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then single crochet at the top. And then we're going to work 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we've just got 1 more puff stitch to do, but again we've got to do our single crochets along the top. And we've got 17, so we're going to go right into that first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work again, and this is our last puff stitch. We're going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to do another puff stitch, and this will be our last one. We're going to go in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Single crochet there at the top, and then do 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I tell you, the sun does not know what it wants to do today. One minute it's too bright, and the next minute it's not. Okay, so that's what it looks like. To finish this off, we're going to go across the top twice. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to crochet 17 again. 1, just like I showed you around your puff stitch. And once you get comfortable with it, maybe you won't have to count. I really do like to count. I even do it in my head while I'm watching TV without meaning to. because I really want to keep my lines straight. And when you're doing single crochet, it's so easy to miss a stitch. And you end up doing the whole triangle thing when you're trying to make a square. Okay, so that's our 17 right there. And I'm just going to chain 1 and do 1 more row of 17 to finish this off. And then I'm going to show you how to do the white border around it, which will just take a few minutes. So again, just doing our 17 across the top here, no puff stitches now, just to end this off here. I know this is a rather long tutorial, but it can be a little confusing, and I wanted to go right along with you and show you how to do every little thing. I have seen some similar videos that show you how to do the puff stitches to make numbers and letters and stuff, but they weren't really specific. They had a lot of written instructions in it, but it was still really hard to tell what to do. So I wanted to make sure that I went through it with you so that you would know exactly how to count and where to put your stitches. Okay, so now we're done with that, and that's what it looks like. Oh, isn't it pretty? And we're going to cut off, and we're going to just do like that, bring in our yarn. I'm going to go ahead and work in our pieces, our loose ends here, so that I can show you how to do the white border around this. And again, remember the rule is 3, so you go in 1, go in 2, go in 3. Now when you're doing crochet and you're working in your yarn, as you can see there, you can see where I worked in right there. You really don't want to do that. I just quickly did it and forgot. But you really want to, and what you can do to make sure that that doesn't happen is only work in the back of these when you're sewing in your ends, so that you won't be able to see them in the front. But that was my bad, but that's okay. I'm going to leave it just like that. Really don't care, but you might. But for this one, I'll show you how to do it correctly so that you can't see any of that from the front. When you're doing single crochet like that, you can really see every little thing that you do. So what you would want to do to sew this in is you would just want to go right in the back. Make sure that you're working in the back of your stitches. And again, remember the rule is 3. Once you do it 3 times, it's secure and it's not going to come undone. So I'm just kind of making sure you're working back there, and see, you can't see it now like you could before. So you do have to be a little bit more careful when you're working with these single crochets. Okay, so I did it 3 times, so I can cut off. And now I'm going to show you how to do the white border. So I'm going to pull in my white yarn. Okay. And I'm going to start right up here at the top. And this is what I would like you to do too, because it'll be easier to show you how to do it. Okay. So I'm going to go right into my corner right here, right into the top. I'm going to pull in my white yarn. I'm going to do 1 single crochet, pull it all in, but I'm not going to count that as my stitch. Some people do, I don't. So I've got my color worked in there, and I'm going to do 1 single crochet, chain 1, and 1 single crochet. And this is kind of like for my corner, because it is going to be a granny square. So it's 1 single crochet, chain 1, 1 single crochet, and that's my corner. And now what I want to do is work 15 across till I get to my other corner. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And that brings me right back to my other corner. And in here, it's going to be a little bit hard to work into, but just put your hook in there. Make sure you're going through both, not just one, but under both sections there. And then you're going to go in and you're going to do 1 single crochet, chain 1, and 1 more single crochet. And that's your corner. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to work 15 in each side besides your corners. Okay, so now you've worked in your corner and now you're going to do 15. But the thing is here, because this was just single crochet square, it's really hard to see where to put these, but basically there's little places, little holes here. There's one in between, there's another one in between, another one. But what you want is 15. And you may mix up or add an extra, whatever you have to do. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to skip that right there. I'm going to go in and do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now, usually I don't get that the first try, but I've been doing it so much that I'm getting it now. And now I'm left with this corner right here. It may take you a couple times, like you may count down and realize, oh no, I need more room, or I need to do less, whatever you need to do. Basically, you just want to get 15. So then you're going to go into this corner right here. You're going to do 1 single crochet, chain 1, and another single crochet. And then the bottom here is pretty easy. It's usually right around 15. Again, you're going to want to get 15 right down in here too. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 15. And I don't know if you could tell, but I had to put an extra one over here, and that's fine because you just need a total of 15. So I'm going to go right into this corner. I'm going to chain single crochet 1, chain 1, and single crochet into my corner. And then I'm going to work 15 across here again, just like we did before. If you have to put an extra one or skip a little space, whatever you have to do to get down to this end, and you're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet, not where you tied in your yarn, but your first single crochet. And then you're going to be finished with your granny square puff cross, and it's going to look just like this. And I designed it so that it would be around the same size as our V-stitch, because you're going to put them all together. So when you put these right on top of each other, right side by side, they're exactly around the same size when you sew them together. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to sew these together so that you can make your big squares for your blanket. So what I do is I take, I'm using a white one, a solid white in the middle of all my squares, but you don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want to do. And then I take my different colors and I just put them wherever I think that they would look nice. So I've got another variegated one here. I'm going to put this up at the top. So I've got 3 crosses going down. And I put that one up there. And I'm just kind of looking at my colors seeing where I want to put them. And that's the way it would look. And now what I need to do is I need to whip stitch all of these together. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So yeah, so let's do that. So I'm going to take these two right here. I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, so what I do is I turn my cross over so it's facing this way, so that when I fold it back, it goes like this. Okay, because I don't want anything to be able to be seen on the top side of my blanket, but you're really not going to anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm just showing you what I do in case there's any kind of little nicks. So I'm going to line them up perfectly. I'm perfectly the way I want them. And then I'm going to cut a pretty decent size piece of yarn here to put in to thread through my darning needle here. I'm going to put that through. Then I'm going to take the end and I'm going to do a slip knot at the end. Okay, I want a pretty decent tail there on my slip knot, just like that. I'm just doing it with my finger. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And then I'm going to start putting these together. And I'm going to work right here in the middle of my corner, and I'm going to go right into the corresponding stitch right here. And remember, this does not have to be absolutely perfect, but I just wanted to show you how I do it. So I'm going to pull up my work until it stops right at that slip knot, and then I'm going to pull in my yarn right through that slip knot, and then I'm going to tighten it. And then that leaves this piece laying right over the top, and I can work that in as I go along, and it's just one less thing that I have to work in later. Okay, just making life easier. And so what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to go through the back of this right here. It's actually the front, excuse me. I'm going to go through the front and then go through the back of this one. And this is a whip stitch, and I'm just going along and I'm working in that piece below. Okay, you can tighten it up a little bit, and then again just going through the front here and into the back, just going through one side of each here. And they say that's supposed to make it look seamless, so you can't tell that you crocheted it together. And that's the glory of the whip stitch. So you're just going, I'm just going in the front of this, going in the front of this, and in the back of the other. Okay, and I'm just trying to line them up the best I can. Again, I don't think it has to be perfect, but if you want it perfect, you can get it perfect. I'm just going all the way around here to my end. Just like this. And I think I've got that in enough, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off so I can get it out of my way. And then I'm just going to keep going. And again, I'm just going through the back and the front there, all the way down. Oh, goodness gracious. I think we've got a knot. Okay, and then I'm working my way right back down to the middle of this corner, just like I did on the other side. Okay, just like that. Right? Then you can open it up. You can open up what it looks like, okay? Now, what I would do is I'm going to work another piece in here So what I would do is I would, to make sure that this stays locked in place, I'm going to turn over my work. I'm going to take my needle, remember, 3 times. I'm going to go in 1, go in another, that's 2, go in another, that's 3, just like that. Don't be scared if you pull your work a little bit. You can stretch it to where it comes back out, and then I'm going to cut off, and that forever is going to stay just like that. Okay. And then I would just do just like I did before. I would put a slip knot on the end of this, and then I would put this over here. Obviously, if I started here at the bottom and went up to the top, then I could pull in this one and then keep going. For the sake of this video though, I just wanted to show you how to, if you're at the end of some thread or you can't get over to another piece, I wanted to show you how to work it in. But I would just do another slip knot, and then I would turn this over like this, because you can tell in this V-stitch that there is a back and a front. Well, I can tell. This is more puffed out and it's the back. And then I would just turn it over, do my whip stitch here, and then fold it back out again. Okay, and I would keep doing that for each of the rows until we got them all put together. Like this. Like this. And that's what your big finished square looks like. Okay, I said in the other video, and I'm just going to tell you again, that you're going to need 24 of these to make a full-size Afghan for your bed or for wherever you want it, but it would be around a full size, would fit a full-size bed. You're going to need 144 V-stitch squares. You're going to need 72 crosses. Again, if you're not religious or you don't care for the cross, you could do just all V-stitches, or if you love them, you could do all crosses, whatever you want to do. But this was just the design that I created. You can use any color you want. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe so that you can be entered in all the giveaways, and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.